All right, folks, let's get back to what we do, turning darkness into light. The Bible says whatever makes manifest is light. So the word manifest means clear or obvious to the mind or to the eye. And Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whatever makes manifest is light. Okay? So let's just make some things manifest. I used to go watch this band when I was in my 20s. They used to show up at Mater Downs and the Grateful Dead. That's one interesting son, isn't it? Uh, is that is this a sun? What is that? I wonder what this is right here. I wonder what this thing is right here. Um, Here's some things that are budding from underground. It looks like the root system right here is coming up above ground. Oh, let's see what. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. What is this? Oh, it's a skeleton's top of his head. Oh, with an X, like X chromosome, with two separate eggs. Okay, that's interesting. So I guess, yeah. And that's a son. The Bible says because they had pleasure in unrighteousness, God will send them strong delusion so that they will believe a lie. I've noticed there's a lot of delusional people out these days. Lots. Anyway, that's a really neat son, isn't it? Isn't that cool? Great. And that's for the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead. Like I said, I used to go watch them. So, um, let's see. So we'll just take a look at that. Well, let's look at the Grateful Dead poster. There's the Grateful Dead poster. Okay, I just enlarged it a little bit so we could look at the sun and the top of the skull of that head of the skull, I guess, with the X in the middle and holding a couple eggs. Yeah, and because they had pleasure in unrighteousness, God will send them strong delusion, so they believe a lie. Interesting poster, huh? The Grateful Dead. Let's look at a couple more things. I'd like to enlarge the Grateful Dead. Here's another cool image of what kind of looks like the sun too. I'll just slide that over. Yeah, there you go. Here's an interesting skateboard that's out at. I get advertisements from Zoomy Skate Shop because my kid bought a skateboard there, and there's a skateboard deck right there. So there's the top of the skateboard deck, and let me zoom out and show you the bottom of the skateboard deck. Let's see if I've got it right. Here, there's different bottoms. That's an image of the Virgin that's got. Look right here under the Virgin. What's that? Is that like a locust from the pit? It sure is. Uh, they're selling Mars Attacks. And the image of the Virgin has a locust from the pit coming out from under this, redesigned image of the Virgin. That's interesting. That goes right in line with what I've been saying. Whatever makes manifest is light. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. The word manifest means clear or obvious to the mind or to the eye. So if something's being made clear or obvious to the mind or to the eye, the light is making it manifest. And Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Um, let's see. Let me show you the top of that skateboard deck again. There it is right there. There's the top of the deck. Take a good look at it. Why is a skateboard deck the sigil of Lucifer? See, that's the sigil of Lucifer right there. So in mainstream skateboarding, they're putting the sigil of Lucifer. Here's a girl with the sigil on her back. Here's a forbidden fruit right side upside down. By the way, there's Someone that directed a video towards this whole congregation, and at the end of their title, they put a right side up, upside down question mark. That's not obvious. There's an interesting tattoo with the nose of the cat is a sheep. So there's the sheep. That's interesting. We're just observing. Let's go to Strongbow Cider. Remember the Grateful Dead? That was quite an interesting poster, wasn't it? Let's watch this. Let's watch this commercial. Strongbow.
New Strongbow Gold Alcohol Cider. The explosive taste of nature.
Oh, wow. The explosive taste of nature. Wow. 5% with 2 apples. Like V and V. 5. Roman numeral 5. Oh, wow. Look at the arrow cutting the apple in half. Whatever makes manifest as light. Huh. I wonder what the intent of this commercial is. Now that you know the truth, it's easy to discern things, isn't it? Let's do it kind of slow. What is that? I wonder if we had that under, that was a microscopic view of something, what that might look like. Oh, fruit in the garden, huh? Oh. Ah, gee. Well, what could that possibly be? It looks kind of like the sun, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like kind of like the sun? Doesn't that kind of look like the sun a little bit? I think it does. Let's see. Kind of looks like this thing right here, doesn't it? It does, doesn't it? Whatever makes manifest is light. I wonder what their intent is. Wait a minute. Let's take a look at that again. What's that? Let's slow that down. Okay. And then that thing comes out, and now a bunch of arrows come out. Oh, I wonder what that all represents. Does that have some cryptic representative meaning? Is this about Strongbow beer? I wonder what this is really about. Remember, whatever makes manifest is light. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. But there are those people that are very delusional, aren't there? Lots of them. Wow. Bunch of arrows hitting fruit. Wow. Oh. That's an interesting transition. from there. That's an interesting transition to there, huh?
New Strongbow Gold Alcohol Cider.
Huh. Okay. Huh. How many of y'all saw the? How many of you guys saw the Rio Olympics? I watched some of it. Anyone see the stadium? There's a stadium. Wow, what a cool stadium. Whatever makes clear or obvious to the mind is light. You know what that is, don't you? It's a stadium. Duh. See that gold thing right up there? The cauldron they lit. They lit the cauldron right here at the tip of the stadium. Right there is where the cauldron was lit. There's the Olympic cauldron right there. See it? And that was lit in the flame. Reminds me of a song, Bob Seger, The Fire Down Below. Anyway, yeah. So they put up the cauldron and they lit the flame and it made this perpetual light thing. And let me show you something that's kind of cool. So right there, we're gonna take a look at that thing right there, and we'll just slide that over. That's right where that is right there. Uh-huh. And these are just don't pay any attention to those. Those are just images of the Virgin. Anyway, so let's put the fire right here where they lit it, right here at the top of the stadium right there. Uh-huh. And then let me show you the shadow that is made by the Washington Monument, which is right here. That is the shadow that's made during the course of a year from the sun and the Washington Monument and inside the Vesica Piscis. Let me put that right here. Okay, I'm gonna set it right on top of the lit cauldron for just a second, let you guys look at it, and just look at that for just a minute. Just take a good look. Now, okay, again, look at the motion of the 6 and the 9. Okay, now let's go ahead and click on that. It's a GIF file. Huh, that's interesting. It makes the same exact thing, doesn't it? Whatever makes clear or obvious to the mind or to the eye is light. You all know what you're looking at, don't you? Yeah, it's a cauldron. Duh. Because they had pleasure in unrighteousness, God will send them strong delusion so that they will believe a lie. So, there you go. That's a pretty interesting. Let me show you something really interesting. Here's the corner of a building in San Antonio. It's where people take their deer to get processed. I used to take them all the time. I'm a hunter. Yeah. I'm not afraid to hunt. A lot of people aren't willing to hunt. They think it's bad, but hey, if you're going to eat meat, I think you should take the responsibility for hunting. But look at this thing up in the corner of the building. Is that a bug? Is that the eye of a bug? Is that the eye of the bug? Are those mandibles right there? Is that the mouth? You know what? That's a bug. What is a bug doing? What is a bug doing on the corner of a building that's a place where hunters go and take their kills? You know what? Here's an image of a locust from the pit. That's from the Vatican right here. You know what? Let's just look at that first. So let's just look at the eye right there and the eye right there and the mandible and the mandible. So let's just slide that over on top of that bug. I'll size it a little bit. I'm going to match up the eyes. There you go. The stone rejected by the builders has become the chief cornerstone. And the builders are a bunch of bugs underground that control the host body system, like a lot of delusional people on this planet. Yep, that's what controls them. That's why this image of the Virgin says the most dangerous place in the world is between a mother and her children, and she's holding a bug, see? Because she's the mother of all the bugs in the pit. Because of, like, that Strongbow Cider original sin thing. Because, just like the Rio Olympics, really neat stadium, huh? Huh. Here's something really interesting. This is a hard cider, original sin hard cider. If you look at the OS, it's a Vesica Piscis. So they're suggesting that the original sin was the intersection of those two circles, making the Vesica Piscis, which is what I've been showing y'all. And XX, which is female chromosome, plus XY, which is male set. These are sex chromosomes, female and male, determining sex. XX plus XY plus apple equals original sin, hard cider. And it says SINHERE, sin here. You know, like here. There you go. Again, whatever makes manifest is light. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. The word manifest means clear or obvious to the mind or to the eye. Okay, so here's a really neat one. Let's go back up. This I just noticed the other day. I was looking at these images of the Virgin, and the Virgin is actually a bug because she's the mother of all the bugs in the pit. That's back to the Garden of Eden. Lucifer breeding with Eve. That was original sin right there. Y'all see, a lot of people think that original sin is this combination thing. It's, wait a minute, there's an original. There's the very first one, and Eve was the one that did it. Eve was the first one, wasn't she? Who fell first? Who was the first one to commit the first sin? It was Eve, the virgin, wasn't it? Yeah. So here's an image of a bug, a praying mantis, which is an extremely stealthful hunter and killer. By the way, it rips the head off the husband. Well, they don't get married, but it's their mate. So they rip the head off their mate during the act of sex, and it helps the male, with the birthing or with the impregnation process. It's just a fact. And then she'll eat the entire male carcass after she's done with them. Well, that's pretty interesting. But I noticed something about that big circle on her face right there. See that circle? That's really an eye. All you got to do is get far away enough from it. And so I reduced it in size, and I'm going to show you right here. This is really a representation of what's in the pit. Now I'll enlarge it. I'll show it to you. This is the eye right here. This is the eye. This is the nose. This is the top lip. This is the open mouth right here. And these are two bottom fangs. Eye, nose, top lip, open mouth, two bottom fangs, and these are antennae. Now I'll reduce it in size and you'll be able to see it easily. So there's the eye, there's the nose, there's the top lip, mouth is open, two bottom fangs. And when you turn it upside down, those two bottom fangs, because these two become the fangs of a serpent whose eye is right here. And it's engulfing this guy that's upside down. I can see it quite clearly. Again, whatever makes manifest is light. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whatever makes clear or obvious to the mind or to the eye is light. Manifest. Okay, now let's take a look at these girls wearing Shadow Hunter t-shirts. Shadow Hunter, well, that would fit just really well with this girl because she doesn't have a face. But I'll tell you what, this would be a perfect face to put on her right here. That's what a shadow hunter is. This is what a shadow hunter is. It's hunting you. Let's look at the Bible and do this understanding that the present time, the hour has already come for you to wake up from your slumber because our salvation is nearer than when we first believed. As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all day long, and we are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Y'all remember the Little Deviants commercial, don't you? Where they're leading the sheep to the slaughter. And the way they do that is trying to lead people away from the truth. Everything I've shown you is truth. Every single thing. There you go. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, you see that really interesting design on her shirt? Y'all know what that is? I know what that is. That's a demonic rune. It's a rune. Y'all know what a rune is? There you go. Rune. There we go. These are runes right here. Runes are letters in a set of related alphabets known as runic alphabets, which were used to write various Germanic languages before the adoption of Latin alphabet. So it's an old system of communication, I guess is a good way of putting it. So you can go look up, runes, and if we type in, I'll go backwards, and I'll do a Google image search, Google Images, and I will type in demon runes. Demon runes, and there you go. Right there. See it right there? Angelic power. So that rune stands for angelic power. So this girl's wearing a rune, angelic power. It's a Shadow Hunter t-shirt. It's got these sharp points like a scorpion tail. See, scorpion tail. There's a lot to this once you understand their symbology and how they communicate and how they put their stuff right in front of your face. Shadow Hunter in training, great. Original Sin, Vesica Pisces. The Grateful Dead. That is just a wonderful Grateful Dead poster, isn't it? There you go. The Grateful Dead. I used to like watching the Grateful Dead. They had some great music. Anyway, and so as you just go through and you look at just this hardcore reality, that building right there, I love you in Christ, that's a bug. That is a locust from the pit. The stone rejected by the builders has become the chief cornerstone. Is God's doing, and it is marvelous to see. And in the end, because they had pleasure in unrighteousness, God will send them strong delusion so that they will believe a lie. Yep. So I don't think anyone can argue with these are images of faces of bugs. Here's a bench right here, and I'll just go up here. Oh, it's the same thing. The bench is a bug. It's got the mouth right here, the proboscis, the mandibles. We just haven't been able to see it, but it's time to wake up from your slumber, because the hour has come for you to wake up from your slumber, for our salvation is near now when we first believe. So anyway, I'm just giving you guys a little food for thought, to see how simple and obvious everything is once you know the truth. We'll finish it with a quick run on this. Okay. That's probably enough. I don't have to tell you what all that is, do I? No brainer. All right, guys. Peace and grace.